Okay, so in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I make my octopus for my markets. All you need will be 5mm hook, scissors, threading needle, and a marker, and something to stuff your little yarn through your plushie, which is that little wooden tool you'll see on the far right. And I usually use like a yarn piece, a small yarn piece as a marker. And I'm using Premier Velvet yarn in this video. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. So right here, I'm gonna start off with a magic ring. And I'm gonna pull up a loop. There we go. There it is. Sorry if my stuff's off to the side. And I'm gonna single crochet six single crochet into the magic ring. So there's 6 single crochet in that magic ring there, and all I'm doing is pulling that magic ring tight, and then I'm going to double single crochet back into the first stitch there. And so there's 2, and then again 2 more into the second one, and I'm gonna do this all the way around, and this will be my second round. As I'm working this second round, I can see how my magic ring wasn't completely tight. I could still see through it, so I went ahead and completely tightened that up. So here I'm counting, and now I have there it is. Now I have the 12 single crochet for that, and now I'm just going to pull some more yarn off of my skein, and I'm going to use this little thread as my marker. You can use any kind of marker you want, but I tend to use just a spare little random leftover thread yarn piece from before. I'm going to go ahead and single crochet into the first one, and then double crochet into the second one, and that'll be a repeat all the way around. Single crochet and then double crochet into the next one. So my odd ones will be 1 single crochet, and my even ones will be 2 single crochet. And I'm gonna make my way all the way around, and I can, since I placed that marker yarn at the front at the beginning, I can always just keep going and then keep going till I get to that little marker. Okay, and that'll be the end of my 3rd round. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my 4th round. That'll end up with 18 single crochets all around. But now my 4th round, I'm single crocheting 2, and then the 3rd one I'm double single crochet. So it'll be 1 1 2 1 1 2. Single increase. Others tend to use different terms, so it'll be like a single and then an increase until I get back to that marker, So just keep going all the way around. Once I'm done with this fourth round, this will be a total of 24 single crochets all around. I'm sorry if this looks pretty fast. You can always, I think you can slow it down. So now I have 24 all the way around single crochets, and this is what it's starting to look like. And now I'm just gonna move my marker up to that 24 stitch to this fourth round, and I'm just gonna single crochet into each stitch, making it another 24. And I'll do that for like 4 more rounds. And I'm just repeating because now I'm kind of building the body up. I've gotten it to where I want it to be. Again, I'm using the Premier Velvet yarn. Some of the stitches are pretty clear to stitch through, some are not. So you just kind of have to look out for those stitches. And if you can see, there's the little blue octopus, and this will be the pink one. And I'm going through, this is my fifth round that I'm single crocheting a stitch into every stitch. And again, I'm just going all the way till I get to the marker. Marker pretty much helps me a lot. This is what it's starting to look like. Okay, had to go and do something real quick. Okay, so we're just gonna keep going through another round where we just single crochet through all the way around. So we just end up at our marker again. This should be our round 6. I'm trying out this new, well, not new, but my overhead recording, what is it, like not a tripod, but it's attached to my table, so whenever I move, it moves. So yeah, if you see any weird shaking, that's what it is. But yeah, I'm just single crocheting again back into each stitch. And again, Premier Velvet yarn is the type of yarn I'm using, so it's a little difficult to see the stitches, but just gonna have to keep an eye out. You can always just try going through it, and if it doesn't look right, pull it out. And now we're getting all the way to our marker yarn. And I think we just passed it. So now we're starting our seventh row of single crochets. Just keep going. And this is us just building that body between like the eyes of the octopus. And I'm using a 5mm hook, just letting you know again, which makes it, I feel like it just gives it like a tighter look, Amigurumi look. I find that if I use anything bigger, the stitches do seem or feel a little looser. And there we go, I'm counting. I need one more round. This will be my 8th round. But if I use a bigger or a thicker hook, like a 6, I find that you can sometimes see a little bit of the polyfill. I'd rather use a 5mm hook. Just makes it more tighter and neater overall. So this is our round 8, and again we're just single crocheting. I make these, I try to make a lot, as as fast as I can. I take these to my markets. People tend to like them, so they're pretty cute and soft. This velvet yarn is pretty soft. Now I try to use different kinds of eyes. I really like using the black safety eyes, but I have a lot of these colored eyes, so I'm gonna use them here when I get to that point of using my eyes. You'll see. Okay, we're slowly coming upon this round, the end of round 8 here with single crochets, and there's my marker again. So yeah, there it is. That's the body, and there's my marker. Pretty much markers help to make sure that you're okay. So I'm looking and seeing that okay, so now here we go, we're going into round 9, and we're gonna single crochet 1, and then the next one's gonna be a decrease. So as you can see, I started off round 9, I single crochet 1, and then I do a decrease where I'll go in 1 stitch, bring up a loop, and another stitch, bring up a loop, and then pull through all of that. So that's what I'm doing, alternating single crochet, and I'm making sure it's nice and tight, and then I'll go in 1 stitch, bring up a loop, the next stitch, bring up a loop, then I'll pull through all of that. And just again, I like to pull and make sure it's nice and tight and everything is looking uniformly, more so for me. I think that tends to give it a better look overall. There it is, decrease. And this is all that 9th row is. Now we're gonna we've built the body with 24 single crochets, but now we're gonna make it row 9 is gonna be 18 crochets, so we're kind of narrowing it down. Alright, so now we're there. This is gonna be our round 10, and as you can see, I'm gonna single crochet only in the back stitch, the stitch closest to the inside of the body and not outside of the body. If you can see how I'm poking through, trying to get that back stitch, or the stitch, I would say, more towards the inside of the body. The cavity there that you're seeing is the inside of the body. So I'm single crocheting all the way around 18 times in the back stitch there. Might be the front stitch. And at the same time, I'm leaving obviously the stitch that is facing me. I'm not touching it, so it's just staying there, and we'll work with that later. Once once the body part is filled up and done, we're gonna go back and work with this stitch that we're leaving out. So again, I'm just single crocheting into that stitch closest to the cavity. And again, this is velvet yarn, Premier velvet yarn, but it's a little tough to see, and it's just a matter of trying to maybe poke and getting that right stitch. So now that we've done that, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my eyes. And again, like I said, I have these colored eyes that I'm trying to get rid of. I usually do black eyes, just black safety eyes, but I have some of these colored ones, and these little guys are colored, so I'm trying to maybe match, and maybe they look cute. And now I'm counting, so I usually put my eyes between the 6th and the 7th row. And here you can see how our body has like grown out, and then it kind of grows back in. Our decreasing rows are showing more, and that's pretty much how I set my eyes. And it looks like that one needed to be spaced out a little bit more. You can space them out, maybe I would say maybe 6 or 7 stitches apart is nice, but unless you want something different, you want them to be close together, that could be fine too. I'm putting the back of my safety eyes on there, and that's always the part where you have to make sure they snap on. Again, I'm using a 5mm hook, and I think that even when the holes are tinier, or the smaller hook, it helps so your eyes hook on there best. Okay, so here I'm getting some of my polyfill, since we're getting ready to close this body up. This is polyfill, and I just, stuff it. I always tell people it's like the same stuff you find in your pillow, but obviously it's polyfill store-bought for plushies. Yeah. And you can pretty much find this polyfill if you're making these at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, or actually Joann's, that's right, Walmart. So I got my safety eyes on here, my polyfill's there. Now I'm just gonna, this will be my round 11, and I'm just gonna single crochet and then decrease, because we're closing him up, so it's gonna be a single crochet and then decrease, and we're doing it in all the stitches. So again, round 11, and I'm kind of still using my marker, even though it's down below, like hanging on the maybe round 3, but I still use it just to kind of guide me, to let me know where to stop. Just one of those tips and tricks. Making my way there. This is again around 11. This little body is about to be done. We're closing him off. As you can see, our body, how it opened up as we crocheted it, then it kind of grew into this little ball, and now we brought it down as we're crocheting him closed. Single crochet and then decrease. There's our marker again down below. Right, I'm always pulling my yarn just to keep that good tension on there. And now we're going into our round 12, and I'm just gonna decrease all the way around. So this will bring me down to, our previous round should have brought us down to 12, and now I'm decreasing again, round 12, and this should bring me down back to 6. single crochet, 6 stitches, sorry. So I'm decreasing 6 times. If you can see, I'm counting just to make sure because my marker's way down there. Yeah. So I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna pull up a loop, then pull up a loop again, and then pull through all of that, and then pull real tight. Not so tight that I'm snapping my yarn though, but enough to keep that good tension on there. I'm gonna cut my yarn. I pulled my yarn through. Right, there it is. And I'm gonna use my threading needle. That's one of those other things you're gonna use, if I didn't mention that before. And now we're just gonna thread that through our stitches. If I can get that through there. I'm gonna thread that through all the stitches around, just like so. It's hard to see these stitches. We're like, okay, was it that one or the other one? Alright, and then just pull enough that you're tightening it up. So don't pull too hard where you snap it like I have before. And then you have to tie another one on. But just pull enough so that it starts tightening it up and closing it off. And it starts starting to look like it's coming all together. And now if it's done or closed, I tend to just go in through somewhere and then making a knot. I'm gonna make a knot. So I feel like it's fully closed there. Now I'm just gonna go through a stitch and then go back through again and then just kind of knot it so it's fully tight. Nothing's gonna happen. Then I just kind of poke it through, kind of lose my yarn in the body, and yeah, there it is. It goes in, and then instead of cutting it, which I usually do, I just kind of use this little stick tool to kind of push it back in, and that way it just ends up being a part of this stuffing that's already in the body. And that's it. Nothing else there. And I can pull my marker off. I'm done. The little body, little head is done. See? It's a little squishy. Yeah. And now I'm kind of looking for those stitches that we left where we did the back stitch. And I'm looking for them because those are the ones we're going to use to make our tentacles, to attach our tentacles. And that's what I'm looking for. Now sometimes these are a little hard to see, but I mean, I've seen people put markers on them just to make sure they're not completely lost. But I think we're good enough. I think this yarn is easy to see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go into one of those stitches from that row 10 where we did the back stitch, and these are like your front stitches that didn't get worked. So I'm gonna they're right there. That's that round, and I'm gonna go through, and then I'm gonna tie up a knot or a slip knot, and I'm gonna pull on them. It's very easy. I mean, I usually use the hook, but I figured let me just use my fingers. So I pulled up did a little slip knot. And there it is. And I'm just gonna place it on the hook, tighten it up. There it is, and I'm gonna pull it through that stitch, and then I'm just gonna do a slip knot there, and then I'm gonna single crochet into the next stitch in that same row, pull up a loop, and I'm gonna tighten it up like I always do, and then I'm gonna chain 20. chain 20. This will be my first tentacle. This is an octopus, so it'll have 8 tentacles, and there's 20. So I go back into the, not the neck, the last stitch from the hook, but maybe the second stitch from the hook. I'll do a single crochet, and then I'll do a second single crochet. So this is known as an increase. Then I'll go into the next one and do 2 single crochets again, and we're increasing on our way back. Here's our second one for the second stitch, and then 2 more in the third one, and then 2 more in the fourth one, and then you're just gonna keep doing this, putting 2 single crochets into each stitch as you go back towards the body. And this is where it gets tricky, because some of these are really hard to see, and sometimes you gotta like feel them out and say, am I really going into the stitch? What am I doing? And you'll see that the increase will make the little chain curl up, and this is when your tentacle starts coming together more so. See, it's kind of hard. And this is all you'll do for the rest of the octopus. And you're just putting 2 single crochets in every stitch on that chain. I'm giving myself some more yarn. I'm hoping I can get a better way of filming or recording these. I really like this video. I'm putting it together, and I'm going through the video, and I can see the sun through my window moving. If you notice that. Anyhow, we're just increasing into each stitch right here. Increasing each stitch, and it's still curling. Sometimes it'll curl differently just because I'm double crocheting into each one, and at the same time, as you can see now, I can hold my little head, my little body. Sometimes it twists and turns around, so the stitches become a little tight that it's kind of hard to figure out where they're at. There you go. So you increase all the way till you get to the head, and then that last stitch. The last increase, and see how it's all curly, and then you kind of look for the next stitch to in that same 10th row in the body to kind of do your single crochet into. This is the hard part because everything does look kind of the same, but the one that stands out, that's the one you have to poke through. And then you single crochet. I try to always make sure it's nice and tight. Then single crochet into the next one, and then build up your chain again. Tighten it up, 20 stitches. Now we're making our second tentacle. So there's 20 stitches, and you go into the second stitch from the hook, and you increase. And you will continue to do this process I'm giving myself more yarn here. Oh yeah, I'm going to listen and watch stuff while I do this. Here. Okay, so we're still increasing into that tentacle. Again, this is just our second tentacle now. This is the part where, again, it gets tricky because you're having to increase into each of those tentacles. Into each of those stitches, sorry. And as you can see, my little head down below tends to move around, so this is where you have to kind of hold your chain and keep crocheting. Watch your stitches as you're crocheting. Giving myself more yarn here. Just keeps increasing your stitches. Increase every stitch on your way back to the head. Now I'm going, see, I'm looking for that round with all those stitches that are out there. Now I just go and single crochet back into that one, and then I go single crochet again to the next one, and then I'm gonna pull up a loop, there we go, and then I chain 20 again. And you will keep doing this. This will be number 3, tentacle number 3. But you can keep doing pretty much the same thing. You'll end up doing it 5 more times till you get back to that first tentacle. And then you'll just pull through and then tighten your ends together and put them into the body. Getting more yarn here. Like I said, my little stand that I'm using to record is attached to my table, so anytime I move my table, it moves too. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys watch and either press forward or continue to watch. Thanks for watching. So here looks like I'm about to finish. Trying to make sure I get that stitch through, pull out my yarn, and then I tie my yarn up at the end from the first tentacle, and I just tie it up. And then here I use my threading needle to put both of these yarn pieces back into the body, just like what we did when I finished the body. And I just pull through so they're coming through, and then I pull both so that I know that they're both in there. And now I can use this other tool to push my extra yarn out and my yarn ends into the body, and I just become part of the stuffing in the body. Again, I used 5mm hook. I got Premier velvet yarn and polyfill, and there's my 8 tentacles. Me always counting my tentacles. Yeah, these are the little guys I have with me at my market. You can follow this video and make your own, or at least have an idea of what I do when I'm making them. And a lot of people ask, do you make these? Yeah, I make them. And yeah, there he is. Thanks for watching.